Yeah. I'm sorry. Look, I know it happens every time, but that's just the way it goes. I'm really sorry. Look, we will find another time to do it. We will rearrange. All right. Okay. I'll speak to you soon then. All right. Bye. Thank God for that. Dodged a bullet there. I cannot think of a single person I would less like to hang out with than... Oh God, he's still on the phone.
I can't believe you've done this to me again.
Oh, cringe. Don't you hate those social screw-ups where you absolutely put your foot in it, especially if you've done it before, say, in a video 6 years ago. But that's the thing about social awkwardness. It's a companion for life. I am destined to discover new social sins, those embarrassing moments where I make a fool of myself and then everyone has to quietly agree to pretend it never happened. Or moments where I make a fool of myself with complete strangers, people I never have to look in the eye again, but will carry the cringe for the rest of my days. Incredibly, since my original list on this very topic, I've managed to level up my idiocy even further, advancing my capacity for social anxiety in tandem with technology. This is Embarrassment Remastered Deluxe Edition. Before I bury my head in my hands with shame, here are 7 really awkward social situations only gamers will understand. Number 1. When you get a brand new online game and race to get into the game without understanding the rules. We've all done it. You've watched the trailers, read the reviews, and maybe caught a stream of PlayStation Access being slightly rubbish at it. So why not leap straight in? You've been playing games your whole life. You can't teach this old dog new tricks. Or, to quote my favourite philosopher, what's the worst that could happen? The worst that can happen is that you turn up, don't know which button does what, drop aerial bombardments on your allies, steal gadgets that don't belong to you, cover your base with landmines, aim gun turrets at your teammates, alert every enemy for miles, and fail to reinforce just as we're about to make a getaway from the planet. Forget old dog, you're the multiplayer equivalent of a new puppy running all over the house, weeing on the carpets, barking at the mirror, and your teammates on voice chat, well, they react as any homeowner would.
Bro, what are you doing?
Bro, you ever killed bugs before?
Bro, did you even do the tutorial?
Thanks for the landmines, bro.
The only response is to own up to your mistakes, by which I mean mute the chat and give your teammates a couple of minutes just to cool off. Then you can always check back in a bit later, by which time, hopefully they're all right. Maybe give them 5 minutes. Contrary to what you see in these list videos, I came to gaming as a hobby because I'm not an extroverted go-getter. I enjoy the solitude of sinking into an exciting new world, Skyrim for the 15th playthrough, as I simultaneously sink into the sofa. It wasn't aspirational, but it was comfortable, and it got the job done. And then virtual reality came along. No more sofa sinking for me. In the immersive worlds of VR, I'm expected to commit mind and body, craning my neck to gawp at the skies where my drab ceiling should be, and sticking my hands into the game as I run virtual fingers through perfect lagoons or gently caress a really sinister doll. Yes, my precious angel. Which leads me on to socially awkward situation number 2. When you overly commit to virtual reality. No, I'm not trying to make you feel self-conscious. You should absolutely dance with imaginary lightsabers like no one is watching. But know that someone could be watching.
Oh, that strange bald man from number 23 is at it again.
And things that feel amazing in virtual reality can look odd in reality. You may be heaving yourself up sun-baked cliffs with the grace of a master free climber, but it looks like you're trying to catch invisible bees in your living room. You may be weaving through the bullets of 1,000 virtual assassins, but it looks like you're trying to escape an invisible bee in your living room. And you may be tearing down a tropical river in a record-setting time, but it looks like you're cranking 2 antique gramophones, maybe for an invisible bee's birthday party. Things will never be the same with the neighbours again.
Well, he's gonna need an exterminator for all those invisible bees.
I've definitely made this next point before, but it keeps happening and it keeps getting more and more awkward as games push the boundaries of photorealism and thirstiness. It's the moment when you try to get a relative or partner invested in your sophisticated piece of interactive fiction, just as the characters decide to get involved in some interactive friction. Yep, they rip off all their clothes and serve up some 4K How's Your Father. How's my father, you ask? Well, incredibly disappointed after walking in on me watching a bunch of pixels getting frisky. By now, you'd think I'd be prepared for the embarrassment, that I've had all the shame burned out of me by years of unicorn sex in The Witcher or Final Fantasy X-2's moaning massages. But no, we're talking about next-gen indignity, games like Infinite Wealth, where Ichiban woos ladies on a dating app and absolutely no one will believe me that I'm doing it for the personality stat boosts. I am. Cut to the next bit, I am! Or Baldur's Gate 3, which recently won a BAFTA for Horniest Gnome, or something like that.
Someone or something is having a bit of fun.
It's a triumph of sex positivity and inclusivity, but it also features so much naughtiness I can't include the clips in this video. I have to show you Dave reacting to it instead, which is unnerving in its own right. If I can't show it here, I definitely can't show it to my mum. There's a scene where you copulate with a bear, and once you've done that to a bear, you'll never be able to look a woodland animal in the eye ever again. The next entry is a distant relative of entry number 1. You eventually learn an online game's basics and manage to hold your own, until, that is, you carry the burden of being the last person standing in a team game. Contrary to what you see in esports tournaments where very excitable players bellow about clutch comebacks, the only thing I clutch at is straws, breaking under the pressure of my teammates' eyes burning a hole in the back of my head. I go through what I call the 5 stages of pre-grief. You know, I haven't died yet, but I'm going to. Stage 1, primary frustration. You're chastised by teammates for letting them get into this situation in the first place. If you hadn't been hiding behind that tree the whole game, your colleagues wouldn't be going home in body bags, and it wouldn't be on you to avenge them. Which leads to Stage 2, sweaty guilt. They're right, you were hiding behind that tree. You owe them big time. But your guilt is writing checks your body can't cash. You begin to sweat, but you can't remove a hand to wipe your head, as then you'll stop moving and that'll make the onlookers even more angry. Then comes Stage 3, information overload. You'll soon receive guidance from teammates in an attempt to coach you to victory. Unfortunately, teammates will deliver all the information simultaneously and with increasing volume as instructions are not followed to the letter. This leads to Stage 4, acute blunderitis. Blunderitis symptoms include indecisiveness, fumbling about, rapid eye movements, and a complete inability to function while playing a game you've previously sunk several hundred hours into. The only cure for blunderitis is a rival putting you out of your misery. Cue Stage 5, faux humility. Sorry everyone, I really was trying my best. I wasn't. And it's gonna be so much better next time. It won't. This next entry is something that only started happening to me since the television gods decided to turn my favourite games into TV shows. If I tried to engage my non-gamer family members in a conversation about The Last of Us before the HBO show aired, the discussion would be more painful than a clicker bite to the neck. Because the world's been ravaged by a deadly fungal bacteria. You can't just...
But do they not have steroid cream? That's what I use, like a beautiful little tootsies.
That's how it used to be. The arrival of The Last of Us on TV has opened these worlds up to huge new audiences, legitimizing these stories in the eyes of people who might not normally pay attention to a video game. Undoubtedly a positive development. I love that Joel and Ellie mean as much to these newcomers as they've always meant to me, but it does mean I now have to humour relatives in frustrating conversations about things they don't quite understand.
So anyway, when they've left the hospital, Helen,
Ellie.
she turns to John,
Joel.
and she says, you know what happened back at the hospital? Is that really what happened? And she knows that she actually knows what happened, but she's not saying
What I'm saying is, just be careful what you wish for.
I just think it's just the best thing on telly, Robert!
Speaking of fibbing, our next entry when you want to tell a tiny lie about your gaming record, but your console decides to stab you in the back. This can happen multiple ways. The all-time classic is when you try to pull a sickie in order to marathon a game on launch day and you forget to turn off your online status.
Yeah, it must have been something I ate. It's just in one end and out the other at the moment.
But there are loads of ways a PS5 can tell on you, the little sneak. Maybe your family goes away for the weekend and instead of mowing the lawn, you play 30 straight hours of Balatro. Good luck blaming it on a broken mower when your playtime is splashed across the home screen like the telltale heart.
It was the dog. The dog loves Balatro.
And wasn't it a playground rite of passage to spin outrageous lies to your mates about how good you are at games? Back then, no one had a clue if you were going full Pinocchio, so you could just repeat what you'd read in official PlayStation magazine.
I only got Final Fantasy 7 last week, and already, I finished the game, level 99. I've got all of the materia, and I've got the gold chocobo, and I've won all the chocobo races like 10 times, and I've killed Ruby Weapon and Emerald Weapon. I can do that when I'm like level 1 with just the Mithril armlet, and yeah.
In 2024, your friends can just bring up your trophies on the PlayStation app on their phone and reveal you for the phony you are.
Did I say Ruby Weapon? Sorry, I meant the Airbuster, yeah. I always get those two confused.
Our final entry is a habit I'm always having to deny, so just including it in a list is going to get me in trouble. It's when you've got your head stuck so far in a game that you have to tune out important conversations and have to scramble to fix the situation. Being an adult means that gaming doesn't always get to be player one in life anymore. There's boring grown-up stuff to worry about like pensions and childcare and trying to work out which pair of scissors are the ones we use for food and which are the ones we use to give the dog a haircut.
I got it wrong again.
What it means in real terms is me trying to finish a 10-minute boss fight in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, juggling the ATB gauges of 3 party members, while also trying to absorb as much of whatever important business talk Dave is blathering on about.
Well, should we or shouldn't we?
I think we should.
You think we should replace Rosie with AI?
Another faultless victim of my social awkwardness. But still, it was cool when I killed that boss, right? Right then, those were 7 awkward social situations that only gamers will understand. Number 8 would be watching this whole video without then sharing a lovely comment underneath, clicking the like button and subscribing if you enjoyed it. Not subscribing would make things doubly awkward. I trust you to do the right thing, and we'll see you again next Friday at 4 p.m. Bye for now.
Look at them. Have a look. Get in there. Don't look at that bit. That's sock. That's just sock, okay? I didn't know about this today. And John, he's just like, oh yeah, no, that's what happened, honest. And Helen knows really that that's not what happened, but
プレイステーション